Welcome to the special holiday edition of Disattractions. I am one of your hosts, Brett Scott here, having my Griswold family Christmas time here at the Disattractions, even though we aren't doing Christmas vacation today. Though, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Someday, we should pitch Wally World. Have you ever seen Vacation? Have you seen the
No,
Vacation?
I've not.
Okay, well,
This is gonna be a running joke where I haven't seen a movie that you've watched, and then you're gonna talk about it for a long time, and then you're gonna be like, "Have you watched this?" And I'm like, "No."
so, no, maybe I shouldn't get into context right now because we got to get on with the episode.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot to talk about.
But we should do a National Lampoon World. It could work. Anyway, today, Kevin's also here.
I am here. Hi. I'm here, everybody, and welcome back to Disattractions. That's the name of the podcast. We are the podcast that creates non-existent attractions, or yet to exist. And just as Brett said, we are going to do a Christmas episode, a special Christmas episode, because this is releasing, or should be releasing, on the 24th, which is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, which is kind of dumb on our part, because, you got 2 days to watch it, and then it's going to be over. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're right. It is kind of dumb. But you know
kidding.
what? It's on the same 2-week schedule, so that it just happened to land on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, because here's the thing. That time between Christmas and New Year's Day still counts.
Yeah.
We'll count it. Count it. It's still Christmas.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, what out of every single Christmas thing could we have possibly picked for this episode's topic?
I want to say I pitched Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, a Turbo Man land. And this time next year, get ready.
Yep,
Turbo
he's calling it.
December 2025, Turbo Land.
All right. And I have to do my homework. The only reason why we didn't do it is because I watched it a long time ago, but it wasn't enough to the point where I could remember anything about it. So
The fact 3 times a year is concerning to me, Kevin.
Yeah, the only movie I ever watch is 1917.
Oh.
Is this a Sonic movie?
Yeah.
I watched 1917 when it came out in 1917.
Yo, Kevin's old. Kevin was on the Titanic, fun fact.
I'm what?
You were on the Titanic.
Oh, I was on the Titanic. You're right, dude. I saw Rose cry on that board. I was sitting on the lifeboat, and I decided, you know what? She needs a little struggle in her life.
What if we had a Titanic ride? You just hit the iceberg, and you just sink, and you drown.
That's already an experience. Okay, we're getting off topic right now.
I know the Titanic experience. I've done it.
Oh man,
I've done that. It's great. You get to stick your hand in water and to see how cold it was and how those people just froze to death. It's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, now on to the topic. What do you know about, instead of boats, what do you know about trains? It's the Polar Express, everybody. Choo choo.
Can I do my Tom Hanks impersonation? It's the Polar Express.
That wasn't the worst one, actually, that I've heard. But yeah, we're doing the Polar Express, everybody. Whoop whoop. If for those who are somehow not familiar with the Polar Express, it was a movie that came out in the early 2000s, I want to say. I don't know exactly the
famous picture book.
Yeah, and it's notoriously, at least I guess I'm doing it off the movie because I haven't actually read the book. But the movie is notoriously known for having kind of threading the line of uncanny valley. If you guys don't know what that is, it's that line where when you see a human-like vagueness, it creates uncomfortableness. Mm-hmm. So it's been known to create that with a lot of people. It's a decent Christmas movie. I mean, I've watched it plenty times, and so
yeah, I feel like, especially for our generation, it's like a movie that has just kind of stayed around for whatever reason. It just kind of floats around. It wasn't very positively received whenever it came out in theaters. It did really well at the box office. It's not like one of my must-go-tos this time of year, but I seen it like several times at this point.
Hmm.
Directed by Robert Zemeckis, who directed such films as Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Forrest Gump. And I'll give you context to why it looks like Uncanny Valley.
Okay.
So they were trying to do a motion capture. Essentially, the people in the movie have like balls attached to them. Essentially, like they have like things taped to them.
Right. Motion capture.
Motion. I was trying to think of motion capture. Thank
You
you.
just said motion capture. Yeah. I was like, you said motion capture, and then tried to explain motion capture. I was like,
I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind.
you're good.
Anyways, Polar Express was very early introduction into motion capture on film, and essentially Robert Zemeckis wanted to open an entire studio where they just made motion capture movies,
Mm.
and they were trying to make animation as realistic as it could possibly look. Now,
That makes sense.
now, can you hear the oxymoron of what I just said?
Animation and making it look realistic, right?
Why not just film these things in live action?
Yeah.
That was essentially why the company
Yeah.
went under, because people
Yeah.
were like, are you spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to try to make these things look realistic when you just shoot it on film?
Right.
That's kind of Zemeckis. He was always an innovator. He was always trying to push the medium.
Mm.
It didn't work. And I do think, in retrospect, The Polar Express would have been a better movie if it was in live action.
Yeah.
Literally the worst aspects of this movie is the way that it looks. Like,
Yeah.
it looks really, really bad. But like the music's great. The storytelling's interesting enough.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It kind of has that delightful, like fluffy feeling, which is why I think
Mhm.
it's still continued to resonate.
Yeah.
But as a movie itself, it's a mess. Regardless, I'm going back to my movie analysis brain
Uh-huh.
workshop humanity self. We're pitching a theme park ride based off of this thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
So so obviously you kind of showing your familiarity with the topic. You're kind of very familiar with at least the film aspect. I mean, I've watched the film numerous times, but I'm not a film critic, or at least not a. I'm not a movie as a deep into movie person as you are. So I watched the movie. The train goes through the snow, and then gets to meet Santa, and then it's whoa, and so that's what happened when I watched the move of the screens.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, but I always thought the Polar Express was always the decision to do a realistic but slightly off because they of course they can't do that. It was always a weird choice to me. But there were some parts like without all the humans, it looks really cool. But the moment you add a human in there, it just ruins it.
Yeah.
But I always thought the movie was fun. I always liked the idea of just having a train that is, I don't know. It's a very interesting way to do a Christmas story rather than doing it kind of generically. It was a very interesting way of doing it. Um, Going on, I guess, to our idea, because honestly, my familiarity of it is I watched the movie. So, I watched the movie, a good amount of times in my life. I mean, it came out when I was in elementary school, and so we used to watch that a lot for like our Christmas parties at school. I remember a memory of me doing that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
in the classrooms, we would all build these forts out. We could bring blankets and pillows and stuff, and we could create our own forts with our desks, and we would sit down and eat food and watch Polar Express. It was honestly kind of wholesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, also familiar because I did do this. I feel like I did it one time. Is they do have Polar Express events you can do. There's a local train station that does do a Polar Express event where you go
Same.
on the train and you meet. You do a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today. But it's kind of that's it. It's nothing much extra with it. It's really very on small scale, but
Yeah. Same with the one. There's one. I live next to Branson, Missouri, which is kind of like a tourist trap, and they have like a Polar Express thing every year. And I was literally recently in Branson, and it like blocks traffic. It's so popular. Like people
that's
love it.
crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Unfortunately, they started it when I was probably a little too old, so I've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
But one day when I have a child or steal one, wait, no, it's not. No, I'll go to the Polar Express. You know.
I mean, that's what the movie's about.
It
Is
is.
literally randomly kids going in the middle of the night to some random. Imagine if Tom Hanks. Imagine if Tom Hanks came to your house in the middle of the night and said, "Get on my train, Bucko."
And you're like, all right, get
Yeah.
on the Polar Express. Tom Hanks plays like 8 characters in this movie, and that's also very weird.
There's a snake on my plane.
And then, do you know that the same director did a Christmas Carol a few years later?
Oh yeah, it's
Jim
the
Carrey plays like 12 characters for some reason.
yeah. I've seen that same vibe of movie.
Yeah, and that movie is just a straight up bad. Like at least it's
Yeah,
decent. But that movie's bad. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
anyway.
That's true. Anyways, on to the theme park attraction because that's what y'all are here for.
Yeah.
So the whole area, we kind of thought this split up into two different areas. So think of it as to Harry Potter World over in Universal, but not exactly. So you know how in the Harry Potter world, or at least in Universal Orlando, you have Hogsmeade over in Islands of Adventure, and then you have Diagon Alley over in Universal Studios Florida, and you have that train that connects them.
Mm.
It's kind of the same idea, but instead of it being two different parks, it's all in the same park, and the two towns would be like a Christmas town that is kind of like a normal Christmas vibe, like maybe in just a normal rural neighborhood or a rural town.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have one that's the North Pole, kind of just simulating what the movie does, where you take kids. That sounds weird to me. You take kids from from neighborhoods to the North Pole to meet Santa.
Yeah.
So that's the idea for the whole entire land. And of course, one is, I feel like one should be like very less covered in snow, and one of them is like more fantastical looking. You know.
I feel like one should be like your bedroom, but it's a little cooler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's giant
Kind of
toys. There's you can take a picture of the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I think it could be like Toy Story Land just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like this big expansive bedroom, and it's like fantastical, but it's still kind of set a little bit in a reality. And then you go on the train, you go choo, and then you go to Pole, and it's just like it's the North Pole, and J.K. Simmons is there, Santa Claus, and the
Dude, I can't handle this right now. You said, and then you go to the North Pole, and it's the North Pole.
Did I?
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, that's exactly what I think actually it was a really cool idea about you mentioned how like half of maybe the other side of it was actually in a bedroom, and it was indoors. I think that'd be really cool. That's a very interesting way of doing that. And the train maybe on this is a creative liberty, okay?
Yeah.
But you took
We're
the
allowed
train.
to do that.
Yeah, it's creative liberty because in the movie the train is just a train that's going on the street. What if you got in a toy train that switched to look like a normal train when you went to the North Pole?
Yeah, and that train is the Polar Express.
The Polar Express. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
I feel like that ride could be very similar to the train ride.
Yeah, I love that ride.
I can't keep doing this. I meant to say the train ride and Harry Potter World, like we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Like you sit in your little compartment, you can have actors go by and you can be like hot chocolate. They can hand you a chocolate, and then you can have a crying orphan next to you, and you can drive through, see the snow. Yeah.
I feel like since that's like the draw of this is going to be that main Polar Express ride, and it would need to be more higher quality than the Hogswort. What is it? The Hogswort Express.
Hogwarts
Express.
Hogwarts Express. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got-
That train, it's basically just a screen, two screens, and then you get up. I want like live actors in the train with
Yeah,
you.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have someone who's wearing, different clothing. Maybe the conductor will come up to you and ask for your little stamp. What's it
Even
called? Ticket or whatever. Why am I think right
have
now?
the thing where it's like we're getting you to the Polar Express, and then like the train kind of shakes, and they're like, "Oh no, Krampus is trying to steal the train." And Krampus is trying to grab it, and you're like, "Oh no!" And like you have a little bit of peril.
Is Krampus in that movie?
No, but he's kind of like a Christmas icon.
You're really trying to shovel in Red One into this right now. Earlier with your J.K. Simmons bit, and now with Krampus. When a Krampus comes in your room, you have to slap fight him. If you don't, you get thrown out the train.
So we actually lied. We're doing a Red One theme park. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I mean, did you ask for this? No? Well, too bad.
Epic Universe be like, our 5th portal is Red One.
It's literally like the head of Universal sitting in a chair, and he's like, the reason why we had this idea is I saw Oppenheimer in IMAX. And I thought, I can't wait to see The Rock's Red One in IMAX, and I have to make a theme park about it.
Yeah. We
Um,
knew that Red One would win Best Picture, so once that happened, we decided we'd announce the park.
we announced the park before the movie came out, actually.
Yeah.
It was that good.
We spent $3 billion on this park. We actually are opening a 4th gate, and it's all dedicated to Red One.
We're making another park. Epic Universe is only a set of 2 parks. It's called next to the Red One Park. And then before Red One comes out, Red 2 is announced.
Red 2.
How much would I bet they're going to make a sequel called Red 2?
I think so. Or they could have Red 1.5 and Timon and Pumbaa do commentary through the whole thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
We
Real
are
one
so
reference.
going off track here, literally and
What else do we talk about with the Polar Express, right?
Yeah. So that was going back to the train idea.
Yeah.
Having live actors come around and kind of just doing the hot chocolate bit would have been really cool. Doing all that stuff would be very interesting. I think having some physicality to it too, so you're not just looking at screens. It'd be pretty cool if there were some physical sets where kind of like the Disneyland Express, kind of those scenes you could see where you could where like you could go, maybe there's a part where you're going on these really cool icy mountains, but like you're inside this dark ride section that has all these really cool mountains and trees, and it's just very aesthetically pleasing.
It's kind of like that dinosaur section.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see that. My thing, because I wasn't entirely kidding about there being a Krampus that tries to take
Okay.
point. I do think we need to have some sort of peril happen.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I have an idea for this later too. Sorry.
If we had like 2 attractions,
Mm-hmm.
I think we could have one that was calm and one that was exciting. But this is like our main attraction. I do think that we need to have some sort of like thrill aspect to the train.
Got it. But there's that one scene in the movie where the train goes off the tracks.
Yeah.
And it starts like Initial D drifting.
Yeah.
It starts going. You could have that type of section where it could have like recreate that scene from the movie where it goes off the tracks or the brakes won't stop for a minute.
Much like the Red One Park, it went off the tracks,
Like more like this podcast right now is going off the tracks.
Sorry. Anyway.
But yeah, like that could easily be a peril. Like, like you have the train going off, or I guess we could have Krampus come and just invade. You also mentioned kind of similar that it could also work in some bits, kind of like the King Kong / the Fast and Furious ride bits.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah. So like I was thinking, with those rides, everyone's favorite ride, Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Mm-hmm.
Like car goes in, and you're like all sitting kind of like in a row, and there's screens all around you. And so I was thinking you could incorporate some elements like that too. And so like it's kind of hard to describe because like if we go more for a Hogwarts route, it's going to be like a physical train. It's going to look like more like a physical train than like
Yeah, that's
tour bus. But like even like I think we want practical sets. But even then, what I'm thinking more so is like a people mover type of thing.
Mm.
You know, like maybe you're going through and you have like dark parts of it, and maybe the screens is like Krampus sweeping down and catching you or something like that. The spear. You remember that scene where all the puppets come to life and it's kind of scary?
Yeah.
You could have a moment like that too. But then, you know, and I think you could like incorporate some interesting elements into that because you could kind of work with force perspective between like what you want the people to see and what you don't want them to see. So there can be practical sets, but then you can go back and have some more screen elements as well, and some more like, you know, you can have water effects or snow effects even, just like throw people and stuff, and you could capture the ice feeling, like you're train sliding a little bit.
I could see that. The only thing I'd have a problem with the people mover is how would you have those live actors come interact if there wasn't sort of a center? Because what you could do is have that people mover, but you can have like, when I think of a people mover vehicle, I'm still thinking of like the vehicle still be normal train seating where you have 2x2s.
Yeah,
kind of sitting in that way.
Yeah, I'm saying more so like
an idea.
What about this? You build the train and it looks like the Hogwarts Express train, but the windows are real, and so the windows you can actually see what's being created outside. But what's outside are all sets. You know what I mean? And so you have live actors. You're in there. But what you're seeing outside is the live sets and the things that are going on in the screens and everything. And that's how your eye can see force perspective of what they want you to see.
Here's kind of what I'm going back to what you said earlier. I think we're going a little to the director route a little bit, meaning that let's just make a train. Like at that point, just make a train.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like if you're going all this way to animate live, like just make a live action movie. It's like we're making it really hard when it needs to be just a train.
The people are going to be amazed by the fact that
it could be a train that could be in live, like it's just a normal train on train tracks. That's pretty easy, and it can have that same. They can walk in between, like actors can walk in between cars really easily. But the video you're talking about, I think, could be done with the screens you were talking about with the windows.
Here's my argument.
Okay, here's your argument. Oh man.
Here's my argument. Let's say the Polar Express attraction is in Florida. It's not going to look so Christmassy if you just have it on a train. It's outside. You know what I mean?
I meant the vehicle is a train. We can still add your video effects.
Yeah. No, I'd never thought of it not being a train.
I meant like as a train, as in like it's when I think of people mover, I think of it being segmented, meaning that like parts of it. I guess the people mover threw me off. So
maybe I'm talking about. You know how you're on the people mover and you're moving and you see sets, and you say you're on the people mover and you're moving. 2024. I'm full of great quotes today, guys.
I like all the part where the people mover, you start moving.
Yeah, I love it whenever the people mover moves the people. That's my favorite.
That's my favorite part.
But you're in your little capsule, your little ride vehicle. And on the outside, the ride is showing you what it wants to show you at a certain time. The set of the future world, that robot butler, the inside of Space Mountain. That's where I'm getting at. Is you have a train that is like the Hogwarts Express, and it's going through, but instead of just seeing screens, you're going through path areas similar to the People Mover, where you can build sets, and you can have like yeah. I'm not trying to say like it's just
kind of a way this really describes to me.
What?
Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland.
What was that?
Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. Like, you know what that is?
I don't think so.
So before, this is the old Disneyland attraction. It was a train that went through Frontierland that is doing literally what we're talking about, except that it was Frontier themed. It was before Big Thunder was even a thing.
Okay.
It was called Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. Search it up. It's really interesting. But it's an old Disneyland attraction that's what we're talking about to a T. Where you're going in and out of sets, but once you go in the sets, like you have these visuals that make it really magical and Christmassy, but then you have other sections where you go out of those internal areas and you go out and it's like just normal like physical prop sets and stuff. I get what you're getting at now. I get it. Okay. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Wrap picture. No, sorry.
So this all will transfer if you're going from the I guess the room that we're talking about, like the kids room, with all the toys. I guess we can call that the toy section. Oh, what do we want to call that? The toy kingdom? I don't know. The toy town. Toy town, I guess is fine. It's kind of catchy.
Yeah, sure.
We'll just call Toy Town for now. If you're going from Toy Town to the North Pole, yeah, that's kind of the goal here. Is it's not only a ride; it's also a transportation thing. And of course, there's going to be an alternative path for people who want to walk, or if they can't physically, somewhat, there's like some sort of disability they have where they can't get on the train or something like that. They still have the way to get to the North Pole and be most accessible for everybody. So there'll be a walkable Christmas path or something with a lot of Christmas lights or something fun like that. Or maybe even do like you can have the Christmas bazaar, like a shopping center, a shopping area, kind of through this long hallway that you could walk in and walk through that to get to the North Pole or something fun so that you don't have to take the train to get to the North Pole.
Yeah. I feel like the bedroom could be like Buddy's bedroom.
Like as in Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is not just the Polar Express. This is Red One, Buddy the Elf. This is Elf, Red One, Jingle All the Way. This is just a Christmas episode.
The Departed.
Oh
all of your favorite movies. Anyway, no, at Buddy's bedroom, I think is what we could call it, because Buddy is like kind of a general term, and I think you should be like somebody's bedroom. I feel like that should be the aesthetic.
Like Andy's backyard type deal.
Yeah, Buddy's bedroom, because that's just a very generic,
Buddy.
What
are we doing?
Buddy's bedroom leads you to the North Pole.
Yep, and that's the kind of the cool transition aspect of it.
Yeah,
and that I think honestly we didn't really come up with any other rides other than the main train aspect, but I guess you could. Maybe you could do something that's a little bit more intense than the main train, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like if this was to be a park section, it would be more of like... It's an interesting concept to try to take on because the Polar Express is not itself a kids movie, and it's not itself like an adult movie. It's like a family movie. It's very much... It looks like... It doesn't have a child's look to it, but it doesn't... It's not an adult movie. It's like this weird mix of the two. I don't know how to put it.
I mean, I guess you could just say it's all ages,
Yeah, and it's to a point where, like, I think it's a lot more of the experience of going on the train and everything. It's not supposed to be the most intense area of a park. I wouldn't think. I mean, if it was, it'd be kind of funny. But, where was I going with that? Somewhere. Oh, any other rides we could think of. We can come back and talk about that a little bit more. But we can also talk about the... Or do you have an idea?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Okay.
I feel like you could do in the North Pole area, like, sledding type of ride. You could even make, like, fake snow and have people, like, sled on it. I think that could be fun. But you could do, like, a ride where, like... Do you remember in the movie where they're all, like, sliding into Santa's sack? Which sounds really weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Santa's a back.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a better word for it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I feel like there'd be kind of like a fun like a ride to have like a little vehicle that like spins into Santa's back, maybe, and then at the end there's like presents, and maybe it leads you to a gift shop, like something pretty simple like that. But I think that could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that could really work. You know what? That's Brett's idea. Santa sacked the ride.
The ride. I know.
Only only at Buddy's bedroom. All right, what are we gonna eat at the Polar Express land? The first thing Brett said when I said food was hot chocolate.
Which is a liquid, but like, come on.
You have to. I mean, there's literally a whole song dedicated to hot chocolate in the Polar Express. I don't know how you could create this without doing hot chocolate. Actually, never mind. It's not even thematically sound. Hot chocolate's a stupid idea. I pitched serving margaritas.
Wait, honestly, after seeing the people in the Polar Express and their terrible animation, I need a few drinks.
Yep, you can have Santa's special hot chocolate, which has
Santa's special sack of hot chocolate.
Santa's special sack the ride. You could have
special stash, the sack ride.
Let's move on from that.
Okay.
Because it just cut out everything you said, and all I heard was sack the ride.
Oh.
Going back further, you could have different types of hot chocolate. I think there would be a lot of different types and different kinds. Maybe create your own hot chocolate stand where you can put in like different marshmallows, or you could put in different types of whipped cream or different fun stuff like that. And then you have like a lot of like Christmas events have this type of thing where they have hot chocolate, and then they have cookies. And I think having a cookie stand would be really cool with all the different Christmas cookies that you know and love, and they would be really really cool to have. And then you also mentioned a s'mores stand, connected kind of with the cookie stand. We don't know if they're gonna be two different things or together, or explain the s'mores stand a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's a very, like... So Kevin and I also talked about how this was very much a holiday park. It's not just a Polar Express park, because we got the train takes you to Polar Express, that's the movie, the end, cool. Yeah. So now we're in
we're in whatever that place he just said was. I can't speak that. Are you an alien?
So now we're at the North Pole, right? The pole that is north.
Yeah.
The North Pole. The North Pole. The North Pole.
You lost your thought, didn't you? You lost your thought.
North Pole,
we may be in the North Pole right now, guys. I'm not too sure. You have a 7% chance of heading to the South Pole.
Wait, that could be fun though.
You can't get out.
Oh,
is that Jimmy Buffett? Yeah, that's the margarita part. And then you go past the Caribbean, and then you go all the way down the South Pole. Huh?
What if the South Pole was literally hell? It's just like once a day.
Yeah.
It's like anti-North Pole.
Anti-North Pole. You can just say South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you were talking about the s'mores stand, really, and how you said that was a good idea. Which it is. I mean, I like s'mores.
Yeah. So I'm saying that, like, for me, s'mores is kind of representative of the holiday at large. I think that is something that correlates with Christmas. Fire, marshmallow, chocolate, graham crackers, Goodwill. All of that together makes a good s'more,
Goodwill is in, like, the shop?
What?
As in, like, Goodwill? Like,
the
shop? That's what I thought of.
Yeah.
I was like, why'd you throw that in there? You said graham crackers, marshmallows, Goodwill. I was like...
what you think of the holidays. Goodwill and marshmallows. Anyway. But what I'm saying is necessarily... I think that's another kind of beautiful little spot you could create. Is like to make a giant fire,
Mm-hmm.
be able to like toast your own marshmallows in this little spot. I think it'd be a fun attachment, essentially, to like a restaurant themed area. So you could get your hot cocoa, but you could also get your s'mores and graham crackers and have your sweets. You know?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think you can also have like you said, like different types of cookies. You can have different, or not cookies, different types of like graham crackers. Different, like maybe you could do like an Oreo graham cracker type thing, or maybe you could do different types of marshmallows. You could do different types of chocolate. Like maybe you could have a white chocolate s'more. You could have a dark chocolate s'more. Like just very very, I guess that's a weird word to use for s'mores, but modular. Like you
Yeah.
very much create your own s'more. Um, and then this is our sit down idea. I kind of created it. Is kind of like almost a. I'm thinking almost like a giant log cabin looking thing, or like I don't know. It's a place where you eat, and it's all the meals are basically curated by Santa and like in his magic. Like his magic is cooking the meals, so you can have like maybe like this very Christmassy type food. So maybe some like a roasted chicken type stuff, or like maybe some turkey, or like maybe some stuffing. Like very Christmassy foods. I'm trying to think of other Christmas like ham. Um, very those type of foods.
Yeah.
It's very generic, really, for a sit-down restaurant, but it doesn't even need to be a sit-down. It could also be cafeteria style, where you go up and get your food and sit down. Either way, it kind of works. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a. I want to like in my mind, I was picturing like a warm log cabin with like a fire going and a giant Christmas tree and decorations, and that's where my mind was going. I don't know if you have any better ideas for that one, because it's kind of a little.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's about what you do with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of if we had like giant sharks in it, that wouldn't make sense. You know, it's the North Pole, it's Christmas, it's aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like all of that.
Yeah. I think maybe you could also incorporate the cookie stand and the s'more stand maybe on both sides of the dining, so you can go inside and get your cookies and your s'mores. Maybe we could do it kind of like a different cafeteria style, how like maybe there's a cookie stand and a s'more stand in the same cafeteria area. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah,
like Sunshine Seasons and like Epcot, where
maybe.
there's a lot of different areas.
I feel like the s'mores
Mm-hmm.
should be outside because I feel like a nice fire outside is.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that. But that being said, I
you can
do
do
think
both.
yeah, I think something we do need to address is we probably do need a different food outside of just s'mores and hot chocolate because that's just pure sugar, and it
That's
is an
yeah,
area.
yeah.
So we could incorporate. For some reason, my mind immediately went to Italian food, even though I don't think Polar Express is Italian. But we can do pizza and pasta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but I think my explanation is meals curated by Santa. That's really vague. I
yeah,
don't know what Santa likes to eat. I don't know if he's on a Mediterranean diet or something and he can only eat
yeah.
fish.
I don't know if he
Like,
only eats that rib crib, but like,
I mean, I know his diet includes of milk and cookies every year, but like I don't know what else he eats. Maybe he's on that keto diet. I don't know, but
I don't know if you could go on keto and just eat milk and cookies. Could you? I don't know about that
I don't
diet.
think so either. I think you have to cut out all carbs if you're keto. I'm not too sure. Don't
No.
quote me on that.
Well,
Uh,
then, all keto people are dead. So wait, no, don't cut that out.
don't cut that out. All right.
Cut that out.
No, all keto people are dead. That's all. That's all that is. That's a fact.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Everyone dies, especially
Yep.
people who are on keto diets.
Yep. We love us at the Disattractions podcast. Um, just remember, everybody dies at some point. All right. So where would you like to shop when it comes to your? Actually, before we start talking about shopping, I want to wrap up our food. So
Yeah.
I want to I think Italian's on a weird thing, honestly, because it's like when I think of Christmas type foods, I'm thinking this is a weird thing to say, but thicker foods, denser foods,
Yeah.
stuff that kind of fills you up a little more. So that's why like a lot of protein, like ham, turkey.
thick with two C's food.
Yeah, exactly. You could also have like the stuffing, mashed potatoes is very holiday-y. You could have like different pastas and stuff. You could have pizza. You could have a wood fire oven pizza. That's a very Christmas kind of thing. Wood fire pizza, I feel like it is. I don't know. I could see that.
Yeah, I can see a wood fire pizza grill. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That makes sense actually. Very
Yeah.
sure.
And I think that could be really cool. And
I
maybe
think
there's like a visual thing where like you can't see the fire, but it looks like Santa's magic is cooking your pizza or something. I don't know.
yeah, stuff that feels like warm and magic and like fire.
Yeah.
You can have like maybe
Cozy.
yeah, cozy like comfort food, so like mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey
Hmm.
and stuff. And you could literally have Thanksgiving dinner here
Yeah.
at Sam's Shop. I think that would be right on point.
And then you can have the wood fire pizza for people that don't want, for like people who don't want the.
For simpletons who don't deserve to have taste buds.
uh, so that concludes the food. I think that did a good job. I think I wrapped that up. Moving on to the shopping, we had a couple ideas. Number one is kind of a self-given. Is Santa's Toy Shop over in the North Pole? Oh, by the way, for food, I'm thinking that the Santa's curated thing is over in the North Pole.
Yeah.
I think there'd be some food vendors over in Buddy's bedroom or whatever. I'm just not 100% sure what that would be just yet, but we'll move on that.
Powerade and ice cream.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
We solidified that.
Yeah.
But this Santa's Toy Shop is going to be over in the North Pole. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, you have the elves building random
Nonsense.
like I don't know, doohickeys. Like I don't know, random doohickeys, random contraptions. I don't know.
I'm making a contraption right.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, that's a PS6
Ooh.
right there.
They're innovators.
They're innovators here at Santa's workshop.
I had an idea. We didn't even talk about this, but I have an idea.
Okay.
So, throughout the entirety of the North Pole, there's a hidden elf. An elf on the shelf, as you say.
Oh,
You can
okay.
do 7 of them. You can have a scavenger hunt where you find all 7 elves. You
That's
go
cute.
back and you hand it to the cashier, and they're like, "Cool," and then they hand you a gun. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and they hand you your own elf on a shelf. Okay,
That'd be cute.
and it's in like a little plastic container, so you don't touch it because if you touch it, it dies. That's canon. So
Yeah, it is true.
container, elf on the shelf. I think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. I think that's a cute little thing. A little search.
Yeah.
Little scavenger hunt. That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have that kind of. But you could limit that to the store itself or the area that you're searching around for.
I think it should be the area. If it was in the store, it would be done in like 2 minutes.
That's
Oh,
true.
boom. Elf, 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 elf. Cool, give me the elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So it would be the whole area. I see. Oh, that's pretty cool. But Santa's Toy Shop, I think, would mainly just be it's just toys. I mean, maybe knick-knacky things. I'm not thinking you can buy, like, a Nerf gun there. I don't think... I don't know. Maybe you could have, like, normal, like, first-party gifts. Like, you can just buy a Barbie. Or you can straight up just buy your Xbox. Like,
Hot Wheel toys.
yeah, or but if it is first party, it's like gimmicky things. Like all of a sudden, you can buy a kid a bike at Santa's Toy Shop. I think small nicky-nacky things would be cool.
Yeah.
But like maybe have the packaging be unique to it, so it looks like it was made by elves or something. Where like, it's not just like, why would I buy a Barbie here when I can go at home to buy one there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They'll charge you twice the price because it's packaged by Santa.
There you go. How to make money 101.
And then you can also adopt pets there.
That's a random addition. Why?
like you would adopt a dog or a cat because like that's a lot of kids for Christmas. They want dogs or cats.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
So there's a dog adoption center in the.
You can also adopt a child.
There's also an orphanage.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Santa's orphanage.
That's been distractions. I'm just kidding. Continue.
So there's one that's the shopping area over in the North Pole. Back at the bedroom, that's really funny to say. But you have a holiday bazaar, kind of what I was talking about earlier. So either it could be the path into the North Pole, or it could be a whole area kind of made out of toys.
Yeah.
That could be pretty cool. Over in the bedroom, or like in the buddy's bedroom, or whatever we're doing.
Buddy's bedroom.
Buddy's
Yeah, I like that. I also think it'd be kind of cute. So, the interpretation of our world in the Polar Express, right? Which we're kind of even drifting upon the Polar Express. It just feels like this is a Christmas world explosion.
Yeah.
I can't speak today. Anyways,
You're good.
I don't even know what I just said. Anyways, so I feel like you could base Buddy's bedroom to have certain structures that are the same at the North Pole. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. So you're kind of like, oh wow, is this really part of his imagination or is it real? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This would be very, very ambitious, but imagine it having the exact same layout, like
you could
to a T.
Yeah, but one of them is cool and one of them's a bedroom.
But like they're each cool for their own reasons.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
I was like, imagine if it was the actual size of a normal bedroom like this, or your bedroom, and like you had to fit like 1,000 people in there.
Let's purposefully make it lame. It's for the aesthetic.
Now you're just talking about Busch Gardens.
Oh, Kevin throwing shots. I was gonna say Flag St. Louis. Ooh,
I didn't say which Busch Gardens, so you're gonna have to figure it out.
Have you been to Six Flags in St. Louis?
Do you think I've been to Missouri?
I am in Missouri. Okay, anyways.
That was great.
Thank you.
Good job. So those are the two shopping centers. I think those are pretty self-explanatory. You can buy Christmas knickknacks. You can buy ornaments. You can buy different. Maybe you can buy like postcards. Or you can buy, Christmas decorations. Or you can buy, just very much Christmassy things.
Yeah.
Just to, it's just that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to go too much into that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think. And then for the events, we have a couple here. We have like a Santa meet and greet, obviously, but we also have the characters from the Polar Express meet and greet as well. So you can meet the different characters. One I think of like the conductor. That's his name. You can meet the conductor. I don't know how you'd be able to do the meet and greet with the kids. I don't know how Disney does like young children in the parks, because you can't hire 7-year-olds.
Yeah. Well,
I know that what's his name? Miguel from Coco is a mask. He looks kind of weird.
Yeah, no, I don't love that.
No.
It can just be adults and it can be creepy. It's fine. Polar Express is kind of creepy anyways.
I guess you're right. Yeah, it just fit the bill. I saw last time I was at Disneyland. I saw a Sid actor.
Oh no.
He was like 22 or something like that. You could definitely see it.
Oh no, I don't love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
That was weird. I don't love that. Anyway. All of a sudden, I just kind of like started thinking about my entire life and how that's not something I ever want to see.
A Sid meet and greet? That's a very specific thing.
Yeah, like that kind of freaks me out. That makes me think.
You should search it up. It's worse.
Okay, let me look it up real quick. I just said I never wanted to see it, but I'm doing it anyways. Wait, this one just straight up doesn't have a face. Like, it's just a normal dude.
Yeah, it doesn't have a face. It's a normal dude.
Oh, did you explain that?
I guess that's what I thought. I didn't explain it.
I thought you meant like there was like a face cover.
Oh no, that would have been kind of funny.
But this is also kind of funny. He's like a scary, like he's a quote unquote like scare actor.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
You go into a
Yeah.
line to get basically harassed by him. That's literally the whole point. He makes fun of you. You go into a line to get harassed. It's kind of funny.
He's like, you're fat, and you leave.
Not like that. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to explain that right now. The other two events, or other one event that we had. And you can explain this a little bit more. You said an elf dance show.
Yeah, elf dance show.
What does that mean?
So, I'm saying that, like, I would say every hour. I always feel like I pitch the dance shows.
You love dancing.
I love dance shows, I guess.
I guess you love them.
I don't know.
You go to theme parks for the dance shows.
I don't. But it'd be fun if, like, I don't know, every hour. So, like, the elves come out, dance or whatever. Do little things. What?
It just sounds like such a low budget thing when you say they have to come out and dance or whatever. Like, what does it mean? They either get to or they don't? Like,
Okay.
Literally that. They come out and they go like, and then that's the end.
All the listening viewers are not going to know what we just did.
No, it was for audio listeners. It is us shaking our hands and that's it. You're welcome.
I one time had a coworker that's like, "This is technically dancing," and then he wiggle his finger, and we all said that he was dumb one day. Anyways, sorry, Eric.
He would later work to be Sid.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. So,
what is the elf dance show? I need to know.
I feel like you can have an elf dance show where they come out, they do a little song and dance, they sing Christmas songs, they like have like little bows and little like presents and wraps, and they like tie themselves around with it, have a little skit, and then Santa Claus comes out. Santa Claus is like, "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, let me read you the scripture of Luke," but no, he goes, "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas," you know, and then it's a meet and greet with Santa whenever that happens. Like, there's a whole ceremony because Santa's in town. Because I feel like if Santa went to the North Pole, it would be like an event. It would be like if Tom Cruise went to California, you know, like, people take notice because he's in his domain. So, like, I feel like that didn't make sense. But, like, when Santa Claus goes to the North Pole, people flock. And so I feel like whenever he comes out for a meet and greet, you should have like a little show, you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm just gonna gloss everything that else that came out your mouth just a minute ago. Moving on.
Sorry.
Moving on from Tom Cruise reads the gospel.
Wait, what?
Moving on from Tom Cruise reading the gospel.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't. I'm just mixing everything you did say into one.
Okay.
I didn't say that. He reads a Scientology document.
Yo, can we do a Scientology?
I don't know enough about that. Just for you guys, for our 10 viewers right now, we're gonna go infiltrate the Church of Scientology, and then come out to tell you guys.
Mr. Beast here. We're at the Church of Scientology.
We're doing a Mr. Beast episode.
Yeah, it's just gonna be exploiting your employees, the right?
Yeah, literally. But yeah, I think that's because, like, the Santa meet and greet has to have some sort of show, right? Or it has to have some sort of, like, parade or some sort of, like, because we haven't even talked about parades at all during this podcast. But, like, having a whole parade kind of thing, and he'd be like, "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas," or whatever.
He'd come in on ooh, I have an idea.
Huh.
He'd come in on like a sled and have like all the reindeers carry him, and then Rudolph would be there, and the bright red light would come out, and then he would like step out, and there'd be smoke. Like, "Yo, I'm Santa Claus," and it's J.K. Simmons.
Imagine if it was like a WWW or WWE entrance.
Yeah.
Where it's just the smoke comes out and it's like, "In this corner we got Santa Claus. In this corner we have Mitt Romney. Go!"
That was the last person I was expecting you to pull. Mitt Romney, the right?
It's the whole scandal of him drinking a soda even though he's a Mormon. We're going crazy tonight.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope that you guys are having a good Christmas with your loved ones.
I'm really hoping that you're listening to this instead of spending time with them on Christmas Eve.
Yep, you're sitting there at work doing your own work because your boss did not schedule you off for Christmas Eve or Christmas. So you have to sit here stocking shelves while listening to us talk about Mitt Romney. Your life.
Your wife is giving birth to your first child on Christmas Eve, but you're like, honey, wait, Disattractions drop episode.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
So
honey, they're talking about Mitt Romney. Isn't that funny? I didn't know he was Mormon.
And she's giving birth.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, honey. Can you give me some help, please?
Oh, what are we going to name him? Mitt. We're going to name him Mitt.
Okay, we're going off too far right now.
Wait, no, I want to know what you're about to say.
What do you mean?
You were about to say who named, and then you stopped.
Who named someone Mitt?
Mitt.
Mitt.
If you name Mitt, then you have to name the next child Mitt. So the
I think of like a baseball mitt.
Yeah. I think about Mitt Romney.
How often are you thinking about Mitt Romney?
Probably once a day.
Yeah,
least.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
We were going so off the tracks, but that was everything that we had for you when it came to our ideas about a Polar Express idea or a park. There was a lot of stuff that we could have probably gone in depth with if we did watch the movie more recently. I feel like going forward, I want to really try to really review the media that we're going to be talking about further on because I really try to spend a little more time on researching everything before we start recording. But
I'll be fair to us. I did an introduction explaining the cultural relevance of the Polar Express.
There you go. He knew that off the top of his dome. Like, he had that ready.
Yeah. We had a whole train ride where the events of the movie actually happened on the ride.
Mm-hmm.
We have a hot chocolate stand, and we even had a ride where you could go into Santa's sack, which is something that does happen in the movie. So, like, again, like we explained, the movie's plot, it's not that deep.
It's true.
You go to the North Pole, and you go back home. We introduce the bedroom aspect of it, but we kind of take our own creative liberty with it because, again, you do that with the Polar Express. It's one that you can, It's like one of my all-time favorite movies and books. Something that we will cover on this podcast at some point, Where the Wild Things Are, right?
Okay.
That is like a masterpiece of a picture book. It's one of my favorite things ever made, and the movie's like top 15 movies of all time for me. You have to create like 24 pages into like 90 minutes. Obviously, there's creative liberty in fleshing out a world and characters and plot. And in order to create the Polar Express into a themed land, you have to do the same thing. Because the movie's so stripped down to a certain point that you have to expand upon what the movie is doing in order to create this as a themed area, which is totally possible. It's kind of like the Dr. Seuss land, right?
Yeah.
Like, not really a Dr. Seuss land that exists, but they take Dr. Seuss characters and they make it into a world.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here at Disattractions.
Look at that. Look at that. He's giving us more credit, which I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was very well said.
Yeah.
Wrapping up all of these thoughts and all these ideas that we've had so far, I'm just going to go kind of do a once over on what we were talking about and kind of just give a cohesive idea what the park is. So, the area is split up into two parts of the area. One is Buddy's bedroom, is that area where like you're in a bedroom made out of, like, all the buildings are kind of made out of toys or anything like that. You have different shops and different places to eat and stuff over there, and then there's a ride, a train ride that is, how do I explain, like, part dark ride, part physical prop set.
Yeah.
A train ride to get to that bedroom into the fantasy world of the North Pole, which is a mirror of the bedroom because it's an idea of, like, is this imagination or not?
Mm-hmm.
Basically confirming Santa's fiction. then after that, other than that train ride that you have the practical sets on, different magical things happen with different screens and whatnot. I was thinking that ride would be, I don't know, a little longer, maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it should be.
yeah,
It is the park.
yeah. It is the park. It needs to be at least 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
even make it sort of ooh. You can make it kind of like the tour, like the tram tour and
mhm,
Universal. You can even stop and be like, "Here is this aspect of the North Pole." You know what I mean?
mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
If you see really closely, you might be able to see Snoop Dogg on the 5th season of The Voice.
These guys are still bloodshot.
Did I tell you I saw him on the tram tour? Like he was filming The Voice, and he
Oh,
literally was on the tram tour.
that's so funny.
I
Like
know.
he tram with you guys.
Yeah, he actually got in there, and he was like, I'm not gonna even try to do a Snoop Dogg impression, but he came in, and he sat right next to me, and
Whoa!
then he gave me a kiss. Actually,
Wait, that,
you believe in me right now?
uh,
He said,
no,
Kevin, you're my biggest fan. Like I'm your biggest fan. I love Disattractions. Let me give you a kiss.
Kev dog, little Kev,
Yeah.
bringing back little Kev. It's Snoop Dogg's new track featuring little Kev.
Oh my gosh, man. I wish. We're detracting again.
Little Scott. Sorry.
They're good. So the food places, we have a hot chocolate stand, we have a cookie stand, and we have a s'more stand. We could have like the same stands in this kind of reinforces the idea of like the same place. It's a different theme. You could have like the same different cookie stands and drink stands in the bedroom and as well as um, North Pole. And then you have the North Pole, I want to say cafeteria section where you have the different types of comfort food and the wood fire pizza.
Yeah.
And then meals that were curated by Santa, I guess.
Sweet.
And then for shops, we have Santa's Toy Shop. We have the Holiday Bazaar. I'm trying to think what else that we have for shopping. That's pretty much it for shopping. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of knick-knacky shops around the area that you can get stuff in.
Nice.
You're like this is nothing. This is something new to you.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I just flipped my camera. All right, there we
I'm reconfirming that it's nice.
go. Yeah. And then for our shows, we have Brett's Spectacular Elf Dance Show.
Yes.
And then we have that Santa meet and greet entrance parade thing. That's a great explanation of that. And then you have the character meet and greets, and you could figure that out somehow. I honestly guess you could just have they're all grown up now. And then each of them has a role. I don't know in why it's coming to life or like. I don't know how you could do a character meet and greet with this, but that's okay. And those are all the ideas that we had. I don't think there's going to be any fireworks shows or drone shows.
Yeah. No, probably not.
No, drone shows are exclusive to Bluey.
Yes. No drone shows in North Pole. No, it would probably make more sense than Bluey, but no, they are only for Bluey.
Got it. And so you can start this one this time. What's your probability rating for this?
So, Buddy's bedroom is a little bit of an original thing. So, but what's this? Pitching it ourselves, it's not going to happen. So I'll give it like a negative 0.5. Okay,
All right.
that's not going to happen. There's actually an anti-chance that it's going
Okay.
to happen. A Polar Express ride for the other chance. For the other chance, what did I just say?
I think we're just both really tired.
Yeah,
We both worked today, I think.
Yeah, and I haven't been getting good night's sleep, so I'm a little delirious. But the other night I got 2 hours of sleep. It was
I'm
wild.
sorry, man.
Anyway. What are the...
Can we... All right, what's your rating for the train ride?
The train, the train,
Mm-hmm.
the train, 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 train.
Just give a rating. Just spit out a number.
No, I want to explain my ratings.
Okay, do it.
Um, so the train, the Polar Express train, the train.
The train. What else are we talking about, Brett? Other than the gosh dang train?
I just a sec. Let me regather my thoughts for a second. I need to engage in reality.
Okay, I'm gonna do my ratings first. So for
I'm
the
so
whole
sorry.
area as a whole, I think that it's kind of plausible. I think the area as a whole is a Christmas area, kind of like that. It's very plausible. So I'm gonna give that a good 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give the train ride. I want to say that is almost a 9 out of 10 because train rides like it kind of exist a little bit here and there. So I would say it exists pretty well within the reality of today. So that's pretty easy to do. The hot chocolate stand and the cookie and s'mores, those are pretty much a 9. If this park was to be made, that has to happen. The North Pole sit down cafeteria in the scope of this park, I could say that it's an easy 8.
Yeah.
The toy shop I'd say is probably an 8. All these are pretty on par for the park, so
Yeah.
Holiday Bazaar is pretty easy. It's a 7 or 8. The Elf Dance Show I don't know about. I'm gonna give that one a 5. The Santa meet and greet show thing is an 8. The character meet and greet I'm gonna do a little lower because I might have a hard time doing that as 6. The slide into Santa's sack ride, that's a -10 on that one. I don't actually that's a 10 out of 10. I don't know how they could not do that.
It's a line into Santa's sack, the ride.
You sound like a squeaky toy over there. Ho ho oh! It made comments every time you hit the sack.
Oh,
Yeah, this kid's been eating his vegetables.
uh, I'm lactose intolerant now. I can't drink milk anymore. Who am I?
Gosh.
Anyway,
So those are all my probability ratings. Let's go back to you now that you have some time to think about it.
the train. Like you were right on about that. It's probably like a 9.5. It kind of already exists in certain ways. So like it's almost a 10, honestly. Like it's out there. You can go find Polar Expresses in the world. You can already find North Poles as well. So as far as like a hot cocoa stands a 10. Come on, that has to exist.
Yeah.
A Polar Express hot cocoa stand exists somewhere.
I kind of want to switch our ratings up a little bit to like how plausible is it. I want to say how plausible it is to in the scope of a park.
And scope of a park.
Meaning that like I want to switch the ratings to like it can be an easy 10 out of 10 for that one because if you were to make one, is that plausible? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, then hot cocoa's 10.
Yeah, I want to start rating stuff like that because if you do it in real life, then like a lot of these aren't going to be plausible at all. But if you start framing it in the scope of the park, a little bit of them will be more plausible. So
okay, so Buddy's bedroom, probably still like a 3.
Yeah.
The Polar Express train, I'm gonna say 10. If you're doing a Polar Express worldwide, would it be a train ride? That'd be kind of silly. Hot cocoa stand.
Titanic the ride at the Polar Express line. Hey, I'm Mitt Romney. And I approve this message.
Hot cocoa 10. S'mores 7. I want to say the cafeteria 6 or 7, maybe 6.
Yeah,
I'll say the shop. The shop's like an 8. 8 or 9. And then the Santa sack, like maybe a 4 or 3.
Okay.
It's not a terrible idea.
It's not. It's just the way we're framing it makes it sound that way. And then you have the shows.
So did you vote for Mitt Romney?
Oh, I didn't vote. I'd say that's a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
How can you not have Mitt Romney near the meet and greet near the Santa sack ride? That just makes sense.
I'm going to say 12. It's already happening in an alternative universe.
No, it's actually happening right now.
As we speak.
Universal announced the 7th portal is the Mitt Romney verse. In the timeline, he won the presidency.
And nothing about it's changed. You just walk into it, it's just Florida. you walk into the portal, and you just exit the park. You walk back to your car, you're like, man, this theming's really immersive. You drive away.
That area is called the Mittverse.
Possibility of that happening 15.
Presidential election into the Mittverse. All right.
Welcome to the Mittverse. I'm your host, Mitt Romney the Mormon, and today we're going to the North Pole. And we're going to find J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus. And we're going to beat him in a fair general election where every vote matters in the Electoral College.
Okay, let's... Thank you guys so much for watching Disattractions. And I would really like to thank you for listening, for all those who have listened. It's been really appreciative. Even if we've gotten any support at all, it's been even the littlest that we've gotten is just, it's so nice to see that people are actually liking what we're putting out. So I want to give my thanks to everyone, and I hope that everyone's having a decent holiday time. I know holidays may be rough for a lot of people and might be a hard time for a lot, so just make sure you're taking care of yourself and to be able to make sure you're in the good mental space.
Make sure that you're doing well so you can listen to more episodes of Disattactions.
Yeah, and just we want to make sure that you know that you're very appreciated, whoever's listening.
If you made it here after all the Mitt Romney talk, like, we appreciate that.
Yeah, like, this is a goofy episode. I'm gonna put something in the front of this saying that we're delirious or something so that people know. But
were we delirious in the McDonald's episode?
I guess so, but that one was more on track. I want to say this one was a little bit even more off track. I don't know. But again, we want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. So, and you'll stay tuned for our next episode after this one comes out. You'll have to see what that's about.
That's the thing. It's kind of like we're at the end of 2024. This is going to be our last episode of 2024. So, like, while we have only 4 episodes in 2024, like, thanks for, like, joining us. And this next year will be our first year, like, that's kind of exciting.
Hopefully 2025 will be a good, successful year for us. And even if nothing comes of it, I'm just glad we have these memories.
Exactly. You do it because you enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, and this is another, and I'm not going to do an announcement just yet, specifically what it is, but there is something early 2025 that's going to happen that's going to be groundbreaking for this broadcast.
Yeah.
For this podcast, I mean. So stay tuned. I'm not going to reveal what that is yet, but it's coming. It's going to be a really late Christmas present for you guys, but
yeah,
hopefully Mitt Romney will do for this year's Christmas present this year.
Yeah, I think Mitt Romney is the president, but we can't say that yet.
Anyways, this has been drawn out for too long.
Yeah.
See you guys later. Have a good night.
Yeah, make sure to kiss Grimace.
Bye.